Oh, yeah.
One clap.
One clap.
First try.
First try.
Get my fucking...
Get your fucking shit together. There we go.
Welcome to episode 12.
You know what time it is. It's time for Pod Heaven.
Got to get a good camera point in every once in a while.
You better not miss the point.
Oh no, says Devin. We started this episode off with a Jaeger bomb.
As you do.
And now I got a Hef. And what do you got?
A little hazy little thing.
Hazy little thing? Hazy little thing? It's an IPA.
Yep.
So we are drinking.
A little bit more heavy than usual.
Yeah.
But you know?
So I heard you brought me a surprise.
So, drum roll, please.
Oh, drum roll.
Nope.
Wrong. There it is.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this new and exciting segment where we try stuff for the first time ever. So, I never went and
I did the cock,
like,
and so I had to put the gunshot in there.
yeah, you always got to just discharge your firearm.
You got to.
Otherwise, it might discharge when it wants to.
You might discharge on somebody else.
Anyways, so I've been kind of wanting to see try this for a while now. It's very bro sciencey, and
of course, I love anything bro sciencey.
So I never went to like apparently you get introduced to this stuff when you're in high school, right? And you're kind of in the locker in the gym with all your buddies, right?
Sure.
And one thing that they always use to kind of get your lifts up is called ammonia. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've heard of like bodybuilders using that stuff, but
Yep.
isn't that like cleaner? So
you can use it for cleaning, yeah. But so Juji Mufu, he makes smelling salts is what he calls them.
Smelling salts?
Yep. So this one tastes. Don't eat this. Don't drink it. This one smells like coffee, but it gives you the whole ammonia thing. So I've never done this before.
That's really you haven't tried it yet.
I've never tried it before. So
you thought we should try it?
Yeah,
on camera.
We're gonna try it together on camera for the first time ever. So it's called Woke.
All right, dude.
Yeah. So
you
apparently,
just smell it.
Yeah. So you just push down you shake it up. I think. Yeah. You shake it up, and then it kind of gets the fumes going.
Sure. Yeah.
And you push down here, and then you just
give it a whiff.
Squeeze and sniff.
So this is legal?
Yeah, it's 100% legal. This is
totally legal.
People do it like before their powerlifting meets and stuff.
So what's the technology behind it? How do they get it to go through your nostrils to your bloodstream?
Oh no, I don't know. I don't think it actually like goes into your bloodstream and like enhances your performance or anything. It just like wakes you up and you're just all of a sudden you're just 100% in the moment. And You're like, oh man, all fired up. Your CNS just like fired up, you know?
Well, I sniffed a muscle relaxer one time.
You sniffed muscle relaxer?
Yeah, it's this type of, I don't know what it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but it's this little vial of stuff that you sniff and it relaxes your muscles.
Oh.
But I don't understand that, like how a fume. Well, I guess, I don't know.
I think it's more of like your body just is like responds to it in a certain way. So I don't know. I've never tried it before. I didn't really look into the science behind it. I just know that people do it a lot. And I wanted to try it.
Sweet. Well, everyone else is doing it.
Yeah, everybody else is doing it. I want to do it. So it probably smells like coffee. So
are we gonna do it?
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Shake it up.
Just give it a good shake and then you just
pop it. Whoa! Oh!
This is good content, man.
Holy cow!
Let me see that.
It does not. You don't even have to like sniff. Oh.
See, I heard it kind of poof when you opened it up.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at your eyes are just like,
woo. Eyes are all watering now, man. Woo.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to sniff the poof. Whoa, man. That was really something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell like coffee.
No, it doesn't. Woo!
Try the other nostril.
You're gonna do it again? I think I'm gonna just stick with the one.
I'm awake now.
Yeah, dude, that lit me up. That really lit me up. It's like that first sip of coffee in the morning. That
like
feeling you get where you just kind of like
1,000 times.
Man, does that have caffeine in it?
No. It's just smelling salts.
Smelling salts. Well, there's these things called boom booms.
Boom booms?
Yeah, that you can poof in your nostrils.
Is it the same deal?
Same deal, kind of thing. So how often is that? Can you just use that whenever you want, or is there a certain amount that's like too much?
You get used to it, and it starts to kind of lose its effect.
Sure.
You know, but
just like alcohol or caffeine.
Yeah,
or
just like anything really.
weed,
Kind of your body gets used to it, and but whew.
I'm ready to friggin' pod, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'm ready to go now. Man, alive.
Cool. So that's our new segment.
Yeah, we just try things.
Damn, I'm excited to see what we're gonna try next week. Maybe I'll have something for you.
Yeah, try to come up with something.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude, because you got to be careful with the kind of stuff that you're trying. I mean, like, if that was one of my homies that showed me one of those things, I might pull out my phone and like Google it really quick. But like, I trust you. You're my brother. Like, you know, I'm fine doing that. But like, yeah, there's all kinds of things. You know, kids are vaping. And they've found that vaping is a pretty good, healthy alternative to smoking. But now they're starting to find that there's certain vapes that people are trying to make caffeine vapable. People are trying to make vapable vitamins. And you just got to be careful because, you know, it's not really that hard to get something approved. Get something approved. Yeah,
exactly.
So like, I know Joe Rogan is selling the Shroom Tech stuff.
Yeah.
And apparently those got some types of mushrooms in there that can help enhance your brain and that's really cool. But
enhance your brain, like cognitive abilities.
Well, just like mental performance.
Oh,
you know, just like everybody's the same type of feeling everybody's chasing with caffeine or coffee or that stuff.
Right.
You know,
this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I want to try that now before I go like do a max lift or something.
Yeah, dude.
Just do that real quick.
Everybody just needs like a boost of energy.
Yeah, just to fire up the CNS. I think that's the biggest thing is like just the central nervous system just all of a sudden, boof.
Yeah,
just kind of.
There's benefit to that, you know?
Yeah.
It might be short term, but like, I don't know. I just know that I need something in the morning. I need some caffeine. I need some coffee. I had a smoothie today, which set me up really well.
Nice.
But yeah, dude.
Yeah. I've been having just like a bowl of berries in the morning with some granola on top of it.
Berries
and what else? That's a throwback.
Welcome to the pod, everybody. Last week, we were talking a little bit about dark psychology. And I was kind of just spitballing.
Yeah.
I I wanted to talk about it on the podcast because it's something that I've ran into in my life, in the situations I've been in with people and stuff. And I wanted to bring it up, but I'll be honest, I haven't researched it very much. So I did a little bit more research, and I came back today with some more thoughtful notes.
Cool.
So dark psychology, while psychology is the study of human behavior and is central to our thoughts, actions, and interactions, the term dark psychology is the phenomenon by which people use tactics of motivation, persuasion, manipulation, and coercion to get what they want. So it's a method of manipulating people, you know, and reverse psychology is kind of one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't think of an example of reverse psychology.
Oh,
right now,
right.
But
Yeah,
like,
I think I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah.
yeah, it's like trying to get somebody to think or answer a question a certain way based on how you answer the question.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not reverse psychology, but that's a good example of dark psychology. And
Oh, is it kind of like reverse psychology is like, you would never, so I want you to go right? But I would say people who go left are just stupid. You know, you would never go left,
Yeah.
would you? Because I want you to go right.
because you want me to go right, yeah.
Okay. Something like that.
Or like, there's no way you could finish that album before
Yeah.
the end of the year. Like, I would say that to a lot of my artists.
Yep.
To get them to go,
Are you
oh, yeah?
serious?
You don't think so?
Watch me.
Well, check it out.
Yeah.
You know? And, you know, that's kind of a good way to use dark psychology, I think.
Yeah.
And
I think this is more talking about like to manipulate somebody to do something they wouldn't normally do.
yeah, because you can manipulate somebody not to steal something. If you know they're planning on stealing something,
Yeah.
then you could use reverse psychology or dark psychology to help talk them out of that.
Uh-huh.
You know, and a lot of like witches that I know, people who practice Wicca,
Right.
their whole, the thing, you know, Christians love their neighbors as themselves. Wiccans do as they please if it harms none. I think that's the slogan for witches.
Okay.
But so that's kind of a little different. But and last week I was talking about how people, you know, use dark psychology against the people who go based off of vibes.
Right.
You know,
right.
they go, well, I caught a vibe off this person. And I said in last week's podcast that I don't think humans directly feel vibrations of emotion.
Okay.
I don't think that's entirely true. I think sometimes when somebody walks in the room like angry, like you can almost physically feel that sometimes.
Right.
But I just think there's more science that goes into it behind just you feeling that emotion.
Right.
You know, you look at their face and that triggers something in you that's seen a face like that on somebody who was angry before.
Yeah.
And so now you feel angry, you know, or like,
or you know that they're angry, especially if you know the person.
yeah,
Like on a personal level, you've known each other forever. You know what they look like when they walk in a room,
yeah,
and you know what they look like when they're pissed off.
right.
You know, so just being able to see somebody walk in, I think that you definitely can feel it.
Yeah. So, you know, and I think so you have to kind of be careful when you're out there in the world. You have to protect your energy. And I think a better way to protect your energy than through crystals I think crystals are great. You know, I have a bunch of awesome crystals, but I think the bottom line is meditation. I think that's one spiritual practice that all religions recommend you should do. Yeah. And lots of, you know, fitness coaches recommend you should do. Lots of everybody, business coaches, you know, tons of people recommend you should meditate. And so an empath, I don't know if I brought that up already, but empaths, the trademark of an empath is feeling and absorbing other people's emotions and or physical symptoms because of their high sensitivities. These people filter the world through their intuition and have a difficult time intellectualizing their feelings. So I've always kind of considered myself an empath.
Like
and
empathetic?
Yeah.
Is that kind of the, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Empathetic person.
Yeah. And I've never viewed that as like a superpower, you know?
No.
I think, you like you were just saying earlier, you were affected by our sister not being in town.
Right.
She was away, working on some things, and that affected you emotionally.
Yep.
Because you felt her pain, you felt her emotion, and I think that's empathy. A lot of empaths or a lot of people who claim that they're empaths, it seems like they're kind of caught up in this woo-woo mentality.
I don't think there's anything woo. No. Okay. I'm just going to say it. There's nothing woo-woo about empathy at all. It is 100% a learned trait. I always hate this thing of people say, you were just born with such a good work ethic.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts. It's like, no, I was not born with a good work ethic. I worked at it to get my work ethic, right? I was not born with motivation. It's something that I learned. Same thing with empathy.
Yeah.
You're not born as an empathetic person.
Yeah.
You learn that through your upbringing and who you are as a person. So it's not.
I think you might be born with a curiosity.
Right.
And then that kind of makes you, when people tell you, oh, you have so much empathy, or, oh, you might be an empath. Then you kind of look into that. I think that's a trait you can be born with. That's kind of like, it makes you want to pursue those things more. Yeah. And look into that. Cause I've had people tell me, you seem like you're an empath, or you seem like you're an indigo soul. Have you ever heard of that? An indigo soul is like a soul that's been reincarnated 1,000,000 times. Like a soul that's like, your soul is, if you're an indigo soul, it means your soul is old. Very, very old.
You're an old soul.
Old soul.
But not just old person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So dark psychology affects a lot of these people who want to be the superhero with the superpower of empathy. Like you just, you said it pretty bluntly. There is no fucking superpower.
Yeah.
Empathy is a learned skill. And, to a certain extent, that's true. But I also think that more people feel for other people more. Like me, I'm pretty career driven. So I don't really focus too much on the emotions that I feel, from people. But when you're feeling empathy, again, I just think there's science behind it. Like you're saying, I think that you're picking up on that person's vibrations because of a certain scientific fact. Right. You're looking at their body language, and that's triggering your brain to think a certain way. You're hearing what they say and the tone that they say it in, and you're comparing that with tones that you've heard in the past from other people. And you're trying to figure out how this person is feeling and why they're communicating. And there's so much that's going on in your brain. Yeah. While that stuff is happening. And so you have to protect that energy. If you feel that, to feel for people, if you feel like you feel for people all the time, and you're absorbing their energy and you're taking on their burdens and stuff, you have to figure out how to feel that energy from them, feel that emotion, and then project to them what your decision would be, to give them some advice, and then take that and give it to them and leave it with them. And don't try to shoulder that burden, because you're not meant to be the one to do that for all of your friends. You can help your friends with their problems without shouldering all of their burdens. And you can do this by meditating to protect your energy, I think. Yeah, I think if the word energy is kind of throwing you off, like I know a lot of people, that word energy kind of throws them off in a different direction. But I just think people interpret it 100 different ways. Right, exactly. Depending on how you were brought up. If somebody comes up and says, hey, I can feel the energy that you're putting out, then some people might think that is a little bit hippie, and a kind of a little bit, on that whole thing. So one thing that I've kind of helped myself, because I was that person. Like I went and I started seeing a masseuse,
and she would use these words like, I can feel your energy and I'm releasing this energy into the world and stuff. And I'm like, what? I don't get this. Like, how can you feel my energy?
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like, and I haven't really fully figured it out. I'm still kind of fleshing it out in my head, you know, about kind of how I interpret this whole thing of, you know, energy and stuff. But it's really just it's more the best way that we've as human beings have been able to communicate this feeling to other human beings is by calling it energy. Mm-hmm. But don't think of it as like electricity.
Sure.
You know, as like, because that's where my brain went instantly. It was like, oh, energy, you can feel my electricity.
Right.
Like, see, that doesn't make any sense to me. But it's I think, unfortunately, and correct me if I'm wrong, the best way that we've learned how to communicate it in a specific way to other human beings is like, I can feel your energy.
Yeah.
But don't get caught up on the word energy.
Yeah. What they're saying is, I can see visually your body language.
Yes.
And what you're saying to me is coming across, and I can feel your emotion. Mm-hmm. You know, I can tell that you're sad, or I can tell that you're angry, or I can tell that you're happy, or I know you're passionate about this. You know, I can feel your energy.
Right. One thing that when you said at the beginning, when we first started talking about like dark psychology, I see this done all the time. And this is actually what I did my live video on today, was about kind of this idea of marketing. And marketing can be kind of seen as dark psychology.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So the word dark psychology, I automatically think of a bunch of people in black robes with hoods on, conjuring up spirits and stuff. But that's not...
That's why I called last week's episode Black Magic.
Black Magic, right. So that's ultimately kind of where my brain jumps to. But it's not necessarily evil.
Yeah.
Right, in nature. It's marketing. Like I said, marketing does it all the freaking time.
Yeah.
And the way I explained it was like, in this world, there's a bunch of like fitness influencers, and there's a bunch of people in the fitness industry, and they're all trying, and most of them are trying to sell you a product, right? Mm-hmm. But there's so many of them that people have to now step outside of maybe what people might call moral, and start to say that they have the one and only, solution to your problem. By saying, this is the secret, this is the thing that's going to help you get to your goal. You just do this one thing, and you're going to get to your goal.
Yeah.
And right there, you can kind of see this problem. All they're trying to do is sell you a product because that's their bread and butter. That's how they survive, right? Yeah. But now they've got to set themselves up above everybody else. So now they say they have the one thing that's going to help you get there, so that gets your attention.
Yeah.
To actually go forward and buy the product. Right. But unfortunately, what that does is now people see that and they go, oh, I've got the one thing that's going to help. This is the one thing that's going to help me get to my goal. And then they buy it. And then it helps them at the beginning because it's a new stimulus to the body. Sure. Right. So I talked about that in a few past things where you don't have to, you don't just you don't just find one modality of fitness and just ride that out to the end. You have to constantly be adding new stimulus. So you go and you say you're running for your main source of fitness right now. And then all of a sudden you go out and you go out and you buy this dude's perfect program, the one thing that's going to help you get to your goal, right?
Found it. Here we go.
And then you do that, and it's a new stimulus on the body. So of course it's going to work.
It's working
at the beginning. So now you're sold. Dude, you're sold on the one thing.
I'm telling everybody on
Yeah, exactly. You're writing all the 5-star ratings on their website and Google and stuff. And then that's where all their 5-star ratings come from. But then you plateau. Mm-hmm. And now but you were, say, a couple years out from your goal, and you did this new program for 6 months and you hit a plateau, right?
Yeah.
You didn't reach your goal. right? You needed to be seeing results for 2 years to get where you wanted to be, but you only went for 6 months because that's how long it took your body to adapt to that new stimulus. Now you start to think that, oh my gosh, I'm the problem. This is the secret to everybody's fitness. Like, look at all these people over here. It worked for them. Why didn't it work for me? You know, and you kind of start to get this, like, you can kind of see where that could be potentially damaging because now,
yeah, for sure.
Now this person who thinks it's them, right?
Well, I think they kind of set it up that way too, to where if it doesn't work for you, then you end up blaming it on yourself.
Exactly. So that's why I think where it can actually really become dark psychology, because then it's becoming harmful.
Right.
You know, and now it's months, years before you even try again. Right?
Dude, that's so killer, man. That's so key. Yeah, I totally agree. I think what you said in the beginning of that is key. You know, dark psychology isn't necessarily dark. You know, find ways to use it for good. And if you meet somebody who's really into dark psychology, you know, try to use it against them to think differently about it if they're using it for evil.
Yeah.
You know, try to get in their head and make them want to do good.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That was a great segment.
That was great.
Jump in the stream, keep flowing. Try to push it off, but it keep on going. All these scars can't help from showing. We've been apart and the tears keep flowing. I fall apart.
This is one of your recent covers, huh?
Yeah, dude.
That's
I
great.
covered Fall Apart by Post Malone.
That's awesome.
That one was fun, man.
Yeah. You did good job with that one.
Thanks. You watched that whole video?
I don't watch the whole thing. I just saw the clips on YouTube. and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like that.
that's all you need to see, man. That's all you need to see, because the only reason I'm doing these covers is just for clickbait. It's just to get a video that I can post on 7 platforms, you know, post a minute of it on Instagram. Well, I've been posting the whole fucking thing on Instagram now because you can upload full length videos to IGTV now.
That's right.
We should be putting our podcast on there too.
IGTV.
On IGTV and on Facebook too. You can upload the whole video to there. I usually just use the YouTube link, but then that takes people over to YouTube. So it might create less friction for them if we just put it right there on Facebook. But
Yeah. Something to think about.
We don't have to give away all our marketing techniques.
Shh, it's a secret.
But I wanted to open up the music segment. You can go check out that video on YouTube. I'll leave a link in the description. I want to clear something up real quick.
Uh-oh. People twisting your words.
Bro. No.
Good.
No one really cares. But
No one really cares.
I was just watching our videos and I just realized that all my mixes sound like shit in our podcast. Is like the songs in our podcast is
Really?
when I'm playing the songs on here, for whatever reason, you know, it's just hard to, I'm not good at mixing podcasts.
Oh.
And so it's hard to get everything to come through at the right level and just get it all balanced out by the end. But I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get a new computer soon. But yeah, don't judge my mixing abilities by what you hear on the podcast. Because that is 9 times out of 10 is either a demo or is not the final mix. Like, that is not how I mix. I got plenty of music on Spotify you can go listen to and get an idea for how I'm mixing. Now you can even dig through the SoundCloud. You can scroll down.
Oh my gosh. I gotta scroll? Dude, too
You can
much work.
scroll down. That's what Russ always says. Russ is a rapper. He's been rapping for like years and years and years. And he had 11 albums out on SoundCloud before he even signed a deal with a record label.
Oh my gosh.
And it's not even like a traditional record deal. It's a half and half deal. So he still owns all of his material. I think he keeps 100% of his streams. And I don't really know how the label makes money, but
Well, you know,
that's what he always says. You can scroll down.
you can scroll down.
Yeah, I got content for days, man. You can scroll down.
Nice.
But yeah, so I've been talking on these Facebook groups and stuff about mixing and about producing. And so I kind of wanted to dive in a little bit to some really detailed stuff about production and how to mix. Because a lot of these guys that are really, really talented musicians, you know, they want to get their music online. They want to publish it and they want to put it on Spotify and iTunes and all that. But, you know, they're good at playing music and they're good at creating music. But getting it to that level to post on a platform, there's a few things you have to do. There's some work that has to go into that. And part of that is mixing and mastering. And I think a lot of guys, you know, some new guys I've asked, how do you mix? What's your process for mixing? And they go, well, I use this plugin called Halftime. And I'm like, Halftime's not a mixing plugin. Halftime is what you use while you're arranging the song, while you're creating it in the DAW, in the digital audio workstation. And mixing is something you do after you've got your whole song arranged how you want it, right? So what most people will do is they'll mix as they go. Uh-huh. They'll add an EQ to a sound when they drop it in there, and they'll add some compression to it, you know, to thicken it up and to sound how it's going to sound in the finished product. And this is a really good strategy to use when you're new, you know, because you don't know how the kick is supposed to sound. Right. So it might be good just to throw a kick into a project file and then watch some videos on how you should mix it and then mix it to how you want it and then move on to the snare, you know, and go one step at a time like that. But at a certain point, you're going to have to separate your arrangement process from your mixing process. And I learned this when I started working at a record label. And just that, you know, there's some fundamentals of music production, and mixing is one of those. And so it's good to record all of your instruments at about -12 dB. So when you're looking at your mixer and you look at how big that level's coming in, you know, when you've got your guitar plugged in and you're playing, you want to make sure it's coming in at -12 dB-ish. You know, it can float around in there. Kind of same thing with a vocal, kind of same thing with piano, kind of same thing with any type of drums or percussion instrument. You know, if you're going to have like a shaker in your track, then sure, you know, that's not even going to be up front in the mix. So you can record that at -6 dB or -15 dB at a lower volume, right? But, you know, your core instruments, you want those all up front in the mix. And so it's better to spend less time mixing while you're creating. And I get it. You know, when you're new, you don't know, you're like, this sounds like shit. You know, my kick's all weak, my snare's all weak. But if you start trying to add saturation to those sounds and you start trying to bring those out right in the beginning of making that song, you're gonna hinder your creative process. You want to be able to just create.
Yeah.
Arrange that song, throw a bunch of sounds in there, do whatever you can, like, then start adding the swells on the cello. Then start adding the, you know.
Get the bare bones, make the foundation first. Yeah, it's crazy because I've been watching you do our Tainted Souls stuff, and it's just kind of, there's been a couple of times where I've been like, I'm ready to jump and go, let's just see where he's going with this.
Yeah,
let's just hang on for a second because I can see that, you know, you haven't sat back in your chair and you're like, this isn't what I'm messing around with stuff. Hold on, I'm still figuring this out. You know, you don't just, it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of stuff that, excuse me,
picking the steak out of your teeth.
How long has that been there?
I don't know. That mic bar is going right across your mouth.
Okay. I'll just hide from the camera.
They probably can't see it.
But yeah, so mixing is separate from your creative process. Don't try to do the two together. To a certain extent, sometimes you're like, the primary instrument in this song is obviously the kick drum. So I'm going to fucking throw an EQ and a compressor and a saturation on the kick drum, and I'm going to get it to the front of the mix so I can, kind of base the rest of the song around that. So, and that's great. But once you kind of get a few of those things in your head, I can go, I know this kick doesn't sound good right now, but I know it's going to sound good at the end product. So I'm going to save that for later.
Makes sense.
So create your song and then export your stems. Exporting stems, if you don't want to learn how to mix and you don't want to learn how to master, just learn how to export stems. This will drastically increase your options as an artist. If you just learn how to record a song raw and then export the stems, then you can send them to a producer, and your producer now has control over all those sounds, and he can decide how much saturation the kick drum should have. And, you can just focus on writing the song and creating. Now, you're going to have to pay him. Now you're going to have to pay the producer if you're going to go that route. So that's why I kind of tried to learn everything. And, I have my struggles by trying to be a jack of all trades. And the way you export stems is you look at your every digital audio workstation can do it, whether you use an FL Studio, whether you use an Ableton, Logic, Cakewalk, freaking Pro Tools, whatever you got, Cubase. You can export stems. You pull up your mixer and you get each sound routed to your mixer. Some DAWs will automatically route all your songs to your sounds to the mixer. In FL Studio, you have to assign each track individually to the mixer. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, get on Google and start Googling some words.
Or just call you.
Or just call me and I'll do this shit for you. You can pay me. But look at your mixer, get everything assigned to an individual track, and then learn how to export each audio wave file that's going through each one of those tracks on your mixer without any effects on it, right? So you can either go through and mute all your effects and just say, it's fine to throw an EQ on there while you're creating, but when you export the stems, take it off.
Yep.
And bring it back to a raw sound. And then, and even if you're mixing it yourself, still go through this process so that if you come to a point in your career where you're writing a song that you're not going to be able to mix well and you need help with, then you can just export the stems and send it out. So you export your stems, you pull them into a new project file. So you have audio waveforms. You don't have any MIDI. You don't have any digital synthesizers or plugins trying to do a bunch of stuff. You're going to be throwing a lot of EQ and a lot of compression and doing a lot of effects for your mixing. So you want to make sure, none of your, well, and it's a gray area because some stems you want to have the effects on. Like if I record a raw guitar sample through Amplitube, then I want the Amplitube on there. So I want to make sure I export that stem with the effects on it and all the other ones without the effects. Get on Google, guys.
Google is your friend.
You got to keep up, man. Damn, that thing is like firing me up, dude. What's it called? Alpha?
Oh.
Art of
Woke.
Woke
Coffee.
Shout out to Woke, dude.
Yeah, Juju Mufu. He's hilarious, but man, he's got some good stuff.
I'm on a vibe, dude. This stuff's great. But
nice. Yeah, it's funny because when I was you were mixing my YouTube covers back a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I would always send you the stuff with the effects on it.
Yeah.
And you said, nope, send me the stuff with the raw stuff.
Yeah, raw.
And
because that's the first thing you're gonna do as an artist. You're gonna, I don't want this producer to hear my raw vocal.
Yeah.
The producer has already heard 100 million raw vocals.
Oh yeah.
And if he hasn't, then he's not a good producer.
Yeah. It's not anything new. He's not gonna be judging you like, this guy sounds like crap.
Yeah.
No, he's not gonna be saying that.
He might.
And if he does, then go find somebody else.
Yeah, or look at your technique a little bit.
Yeah, maybe take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
you never know. But so that was the first thing. And then when we were doing the Tainted Soul stuff, I was sending you some samples, and I had to figure out how to do the whole. I'm a personal
export.
trainer,
Yeah.
and I had to figure out how to export my stems.
Yeah. And it wasn't that hard, was it?
No, it's Googled, and then Google was like, here, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, dang. That's easy. So,
Yeah.
That's no problem.
And it might take you a couple tries, but I'm telling you, like, if you want to play with the big boys, like, there's some fundamentals you got to get down.
Yep.
And I love the fact that you've found an incredible creative process that you can use to create music that nobody's heard before. And I love the fact that you're breaking all the rules, you know, and you're out there doing making music that nobody would put on the radio. That's great. But I'm telling you, just learn a few things, learn a few fundamentals, and figure out how music does get on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just so you have that as an option.
Especially if you're trying to make it somewhere, you know, because I know the biggest thing that we had to get over as an artist was that we're going to put out our stuff and we're going to have our idea of what we want it to sound like.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're trying to make it big, if you're trying to get it like appeal to the masses, you don't have to sell out. That's not what I'm saying. But there are a few things that you have to be able to move on. You can't just be, this is the way it needs to sound. And if it doesn't sound like this, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Because
allow your producers some creative control.
Yeah. Have a little buffer room, just a little bit. I mean, know where you're going to say, this is it. This is as far as I want to go. You know, don't be a pushover.
Yeah, you can draw the line at any time as an artist.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah. But don't be like super, super like give no wiggle room at all.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Got to be open-minded, man. You got to taste different things. Yeah. You know, I've unlocked so much freedom in my career path and in the things that I can do as a musician now because, you know, I spent 5 years learning production. I decided that, you know, I was going to humble myself and I was going to maybe not move as fast as I could in the music industry, but, you know, learn some things that would really, really, broaden my horizons as an artist. And, you know, I'm the tortoise. So I took that route, you know, and I started making EDM and I started making hip hop and, you know, kept doing the rock and roll thing a little bit, and now I'm getting back more into rock and roll now, but, you know, it's funny because everybody kind of tells me to go in a different direction. Everybody says, you know, some people know me as DJ Heaven Sent. And like some people know me as like Heaven Sent, like a spiritual entity, like oh dang. And other people know me as like Heaven Sent, like the rapper.
Yeah. And
then like other people know me as Austin with Bent Beat. And it's just like nobody really knows what I do because I do it all, and everybody's kind of a fan of a little part of what I do, and they don't pay attention to what I'm doing outside of that. You know, and maybe it's not even a great idea to be talking about production in this type of a setting, but I really think that a lot of producers need to hear, you know, that your arrangement process should be separate from your mixing process. Sure, throw some things on while you're creating, but once you export your stems, make sure you turn all your effects off.
Yeah.
And start from scratch. So I had some other things, but
save it for the next one.
We're killing it, man. Yeah. This is episode 12, dude.
Episode 12. It's going to make me famous.
We're getting better with every single one.
Drums come in, man.
This one I made a while back called Schecterdelic.
That's great.
Just another EDM track. Just digital sounds and a little bit of guitar. Damn it, cut off.
Oh, that's it.
Yo, that song's tight.
Dang, I like that one, man. It's awesome.
Round of applause for Heaven Sent.
Yeah.
The EDM DJ. Yeah, because that's all I do.
Yeah, you're not an artist. You're just a DJ. Not. Anyways.
Oh shit, that's the pan knob. There we go. That's the fitness noise.
There we go. The fitness noise. You know what that means.
Whoa, we're about to get buff.
About to get swole.
Want to talk about my diet?
Yeah, we can go over that real quick.
Let's do that. Because I don't really remember it very well, so I don't think we're going to make too much progress.
Oh.
But I did eat. I've just been eating more protein. I've just been trying to think more protein. Because like I said, I'm not writing anything down. I was going to try to write some stuff down this week, but it's just not enough of a priority in my life to really get into it. You know, if I come here and you tell me I need to eat more protein, then I'm going to go and try to start eating some more protein. And if I take baby steps for long enough and I stay disciplined with it, then I might start to write some stuff down. But
nice. Yeah. That's crazy. And you hit the nail on the head right there. I don't even think you realize what the significance of what you just said, but it's crazy. That's why I always tell people, focus on protein.
Yeah.
Because it's easy. It's so simple.
That's one easy thing to do is just eat a little bit more protein.
And you just eat protein. You focus on protein because most of the time people go to the bread, they go to the sugar, carbs right away, right? But now you switch it over. Yeah. And now you're eating less carbs. You're eating more protein, which is going to be more satiating. So therefore, you're going to eat less. Yeah. And in the way that now you're eating less because you're eating more protein, and you have less calories coming in. Right. Just from focusing on one thing. I'm going to eat more protein. And all of a sudden, it just takes care of a bunch of other things just super easily. Yeah. You know? So if more people did that, and that's exactly why I tell people to do that.
Just eat more protein. Whether you need to lose weight or whether you need to gain weight, really, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You got to watch your calories if you're trying to gain weight. If you don't eat enough calories, you're not going to put on any weight. Uh-huh. But yeah, if you're trying to lose weight, a good way to lose weight is to just focus on protein because then you eat less. Yeah. And then you're going to lose weight.
Yeah. Rather than subtracting things out of your diet, just add more good things.
Yeah. Like what's easier for you to do? Like, okay, I want you to just eat less. That's pretty daunting for a lot of people. Yeah. You know, people don't like if you tell somebody to just eat less, then that means like, I'm just going to eat less than I normally do. And you're going to be hungry all the time. Yeah. But if I say eat more protein, you're going to eat the same amount of food. Yeah. But you're going to focus on protein. You're going to feel fuller sooner. And so I guess you aren't going to be eating the same amount of food. So you're going to be focusing on protein. You'll feel fuller sooner and you'll be eating less food that way. Yeah. And it's just a different way of looking at it, but it's way easier. So good job.
Yeah, dude. So a little more protein. I had a bunch of stromboli this week. I had hamburgers. I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day this week. I think that was pretty key too.
Every day?
You know, every day. I hit all 3 meals. That's kind of been one of my problems is just not working into my schedule, you know, but Ashley's going to the grocery store today and then I'm going to go pick up some stuff. And I've got a really good plan this week. I've got some stuff. I've got another Notion set up actually for my meals.
There you go.
And I've got like steak on there and stromboli and pizza. And, you know, I've got like 7 lunches, 7 breakfasts, and then like 4 dinners. Because Ashley is going to fast 3 dinners out of each week, or she's going to fast 4 days for dinner out of each week, I think. And so she's going to cook 3 dinners a week, and I'm going to cook the other 4. And I'm going to start making French dip and stromboli and tacos and
there you go
and stuff. And
that's good.
And then I'll have that stuff left over for lunch the next day that I can bring that to the studio. And I think I'm probably going to have 1 day a week where I just do a whole bunch of meal prep.
There you go. Nice. See, that's good. But see, it's interesting because you just starting to think about it more. Mm-hmm. You know, you made a notion for it. Yeah. You know, and that even just doing that little bit, it's going to help you kind of become more, like you say you're not really thinking about it that much. But that's why writing it down is a huge benefit to you. Because in a sense, now you are thinking about it more. you know, but now it's written down in front of you. So I guess, yeah, you wouldn't really have to think about it that much. So no, you're not thinking about it as much, but you have something to remind you.
Yeah. I think you're saying I actually am thinking about it.
Yeah.
A little more than I should be, probably.
Well, I mean, not should be, but more than you giving yourself credit for.
Yeah. Well, if I wrote it down, you know, then I wouldn't have to.
Oh,
but
yeah. So that's good.
Anyways.
Well, nice, dude. Good work with
the body is a crazy thing.
Body is a crazy thing, man, because that's one thing that I wanted to talk about today was a lot of people when they go into, say, weight loss, right? They don't, or they want to gain weight, whatever your goal is, right? Your body is constantly trying to reach a state of like homeostasis, right? Where it's just kind of like, it's not in a state of trying to adapt to something.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why you can't just do the same workout forever and ever and ever and always see results, because your body reaches a state of homeostasis, right? Where it's adapted to that stimulus that you're already doing. Right. And it doesn't have to like really try to become better to meet that. So one thing that can really screw with you though is this fact that if you're not losing weight, it can be multiple different things, right, that can keep you from losing weight. So stress being one of them, right? So when somebody's trying to lose weight, they can be having their macros completely dialed in.
Uh-huh.
They can have their calorie intake completely dialed in. They can have their workout program completely dialed in. They could be working with a nutritionalist, a personal trainer. Everything is just aligning perfectly, but they're not losing weight. Why is that? It's because their sleep is off.
Sleep.
Right? That's a really big one. Like I've seen people who have been just like, they're not gaining weight, they're not losing weight, they're not getting stronger. And it's because they're only getting 5 hours of sleep every single night. They don't have that part dialed in. Or they're married and they're at home and they're constantly fighting with their spouse and they're not getting their needs met there. And there's just a huge stress just placed on the body at all times. You're not going to lose weight at that point, right? Because the body's not at homeostasis, right? It's not cool. It's just like, it thinks it's in trouble is basically what's happening.
Oh, shit.
Because as we've, evolved, if you want to call it that way, we're created, whatever your view is how we got here today.
Sure.
We're made to survive.
Yeah.
We are going to do whatever it takes to survive, right? And if there's a stress on us, our body doesn't know the difference between your buddy's hiding around the corner and he just jumped out and scared the crap out of you. It doesn't know if that happened or if you worked out or if you're having problems at home or if, you're not sleeping enough. It all sees that as just one thing.
It's trauma.
It's trauma. And that's it. And it's like, we're in trouble. Something is not right. At any moment, we're going to need this energy that we have to get out of here and survive.
That's killer.
So I'm not going to give up the weight. I'm not going to put on the weight, And it's not until you figure that stress out and you bring yourself back down
to homeostasis
that you're going to be able to progress.
You think meditation help with that too?
Meditation is a big one to kind of, because a lot of times we don't realize that there's just kind of this in the back of our minds, the stress that's going on constantly.
Yeah.
We don't really realize it's there. But until we meditate, until we kind of take a break, settle down, and really analyze what's going on, that we realize, oh, that's there. And that's maybe why I can't lose the weight. Maybe why I can't put on the weight. Maybe why I can't get stronger, whatever.
Dude.
So it's not, we've always been told that it's because we're eating too much, but you could have everything dialed, and it's oftentimes overlooked. And it's really, really, really crucial and really,
homeostasis.
Really yep. It's it's something that it can't be overlooked.
So that's like a medical term, homeostasis, because I feel like I've read that in a science book.
Yeah, it's like a scientific term.
It's a scientific term.
Yeah, just meaning that you're level. It's the kind of easiest way to explain that.
Dude, I feel like that's like kind of like, the oneness that all the hippies are chasing and all the, every religion's chasing, really.
Yeah, oneness.
Yeah.
What's another word for it?
Om,
yeah. Kind of like the yin and yang thing, if you have too much yin, you have too much yang.
Yeah.
I don't know much about that.
Gotta get your yang in check, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Well, that stuff will do it. For sure.
Yeah, this will put you into that fight or flight. Just like quick.
I'm having a great time.
It takes you out of homeostasis real quick.
I could definitely use that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've got this stuff. I'm gonna try it in a workout sometime.
Dude, I'm gonna probably have to get myself a bottle, but I might have to have Ashley hide it from me.
Yeah, and only use it in specific spots
before I perform.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Right before I perform.
Yeah, dude, that would get you right in the moment.
I feel like I could remember all the lyrics.
Nice.
Like just without, because that was kind of my problem on 4th of July.
Yeah,
wanted to perform, but
you got some other things that were kind of distracting you from it. So gotcha.
And I didn't think I was gonna be able to remember the lyrics because of that.
Yeah, gotcha.
So,
all right, guys. Well, here's what you got to do. If you're listening to us on Instagram or Facebook, we're at Pod Heaven, Austin and Devin. And on YouTube, Pod Heaven, Austin and Devin as well. Make sure you go like. Dude, we want to hear you comment like in the comment section.
Comment on our stuff.
Please
leave a comment.
Let us know what you think. And and then on Twitter, that's the only one that's different. It's Pod Heaven AD.
Yeah.
Go follow us there. But yeah, if you got any questions, that's where to find us. Make sure you let us know about all the questions you got. We would answer them right now.
Yeah.
On the podcast, live, in person. So let us know what you got. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, you guys. We will see you next week.
Thank